It was a mandatory evacuation, but I decided to stay here. You know, I could tell you I stayed with the property because I have experience with wildfires, that I knew that our field to the north would keep us from being totally surprised by the smoke. The truth is, I've been here 35 years. We've had maybe 15,000 visitors enjoy what we together created here. Judy and I raised 2 girls here, who are as fond of the place as I. I know every tree. They're my friends, really. I couldn't leave. I couldn't leave any more than if I was leaving one of my children when I ran from here. This photo was what it looked like just 0.3 miles away, and it was coming in our direction. That's when the fire defense system abandoned this line of defense and moved the line of defense 0.8 miles behind us. In this photo, they're abandoning what you would call downtown. And one of those 3 police cars at exactly this time headed to Easy Manor, which is just a little bit in front of them and then to their left, at his peril, to try one more time to convince me to leave, bless his heart. But I would have nothing of it. I couldn't leave. I actually felt bad for the officer because I know he thought his failure to convince me to leave might cost me my life. He may have thought, and probably did, that I was something of a fool, that I was expressing bravado. It wasn't long before these moments that Katie and Todd, who had been working north of here, weaved their way and squeezed their way against the massive exodus and were able to get to Easy Manor before the area was totally sealed. They came into the fire scene to help me. At that time, I had connected the trailer to the truck, and this is the truth, I had packed a banjo and a guitar. We could now see flames for the first time to our northwest, which is the downtown side. We watched the sky at the top of the building smoke, which is where we could see precise changes in the wind direction. It would move west to east, across us essentially, and then come toward us, and then west to east, then toward us in a zigzagging pattern. It was a game of chance at the moment, and if the wind turned our way for maybe even 15 or 20 seconds, we'd be bowled over. No electricity, no natural gas. We have only the water and food on hand to last us perhaps a week or more. If you stay through a mandatory evacuation, you are termed a refuser. And we were 3 refusers. We set up a little command post in the woodshop area of the barn. We lit it with candles. I sent a text to my daughter Shay in Kansas City and asked her to monitor the viability of our escape route. We were not here to risk our lives. We felt confident in our ability to know when to leave, as long as we had knowledge that there was still an escape route, which had become very narrow. We sharpened the chainsaws, the bow saws, and began other preps. We knew that we could do nothing about the firestorm, but if the firestorm misses us, we have the resources to make a difference with the normal forest fires it'll leave in its wake. We can pump 600 gallons a minute out of the pond and cover 60% of the property. More importantly, we can remove fuel from the path of the fire. We can remove trees, dead wood, dead limbs, and other ladder fuels from the perimeter around us in an attempt to make a fire break around our property. You can see from this burn map that the fire went around us. We cut dead limbs from perhaps 500 or 1,000 trees, I don't know. We mowed the field and took away the hay. We moved propane tanks, wood piles. We emptied 160 gallons of gasoline from the front yard of a neighbor across the street. Well, the firestorm did miss us by 400 feet. I know that distance because that's how far away my neighbor's barn was when it burned down. That was the first evening. After that, we worked to stop fires from the east and the northeast for 3 days. Through all of this, there was a constant exchange of text messages with my daughter, detailing wind direction, wind speed, other information about what was going on around us. I think we were up for maybe 32 hours before we began sleeping in shifts. It was the morning of the 3rd day, about 4 in the morning. During Katie's shift, I was sleeping in the cabin. She woke me to say that the fire from the east had reared up. We were so determined not to let a normal forest fire get us after having lucked out with the firestorm. But on this morning, it looked like we may lose. I was cutting wood not far from my neighbor's house when suddenly an armada of Chinook helicopters came to rescue us. In the time after the fires, none of us had much recollection of the details of those days. Interesting phenomenon. My daughter Shay compiled a transcript of our text messages. We read through them together. It made us cry. It was enormously therapeutic, and we had no idea we needed therapy. I was hoping my friends and neighbors, those who lost their homes and those who didn't, may find our story therapeutic for them as well.